Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Well, a little lately. I've been doing a few different things. When we work in a creative field, I'm going to speak directly to my designer peeps. All right, so peeps, peep up. We pay attention to the trends. We have market reports, we have product knowledge meetings with suppliers, with manufacturers. We are like checking like what's this year's trending colors and styles and what are people doing and what's all happening in the background. When we're growing a business, we are understanding, well, what does a business need? What are the strategies, the processes that I need to put in place in order for my business to run more effectively? How do I write a contract? How do I make sure that I'm getting paid? How do I put all of these things together so that I look on the outside world like I got my shit all together, even though on the inside world it's like, OMG, everything is burning down. Send help, right? We have these ways of learning and understanding and really staying in tune with and on top of what our business and our industry needs. And my question to you is, how are you staying on top of what you need? How are you ensuring that you are fully supported so that as you're tracking the market trends, as you're paying attention to like the latest design trends and inspirations and the way that people are putting spaces and colors and textures together, that you also are being supported? Because the truth is, you are the heart and soul of that creative work. And if you are not being fully supported, then the creative work is going to fall apart. When I had my design business in Calgary a few years ago, at first I was just like, this is amazing. I have won the lottery. And after a few years, the soul was sucked out of me so much that I had lost the joy of the creation. And I ultimately stepped away and I moved completely differently. I gave my entire friends and family like whiplash and I moved into tech, which could not be more different from interior design. But it gave me space and time and a whole different exposure that I needed in order to gain some clarity. And one of the things that I recognized was there was no holistic support system for me as a designer. When I was struggling personally, I had to keep it together for my clients, for my suppliers, for all the people who relied on me for projects to get done, even though inside I just felt like I was dying. When a creative project was going sideways, I couldn't talk about that with my friends and family because they didn't understand. And I had to be respectful of my client's privilege and situation as well. Not being able to find support in the fullness that I was looking for was really a challenge and definitely led to me ultimately saying, I gotta walk away from this because I'm just dying on the inside. And after a lot of years since then, going through tech, focusing on women with money, focusing on leadership, focusing on empowerment, what I've realized is that there is this hole in support for creative professionals. We have people who focus on the business stream. We have people who focus on the design trends. We have people who focus on like execution. But what about the fullness of who you are? What about working with somebody who understands all the aspects of it, who gets it, who's been in the trenches, who's had to navigate challenging client situations and turn down projects when I knew I couldn't properly execute on them to the level that I expected and demanded of myself in order to serve the client, and find a way to still grow through all the juiciness that life sometimes brings and still execute at a high level. Which is why now I'm really focusing on supporting the creatives, working with creative souls, perhaps like yourself, to support the wholeness of who you are. So if that sounds interesting to you, drop a comment in the DMs. Let's chat.